You're watching KCRG TV9. Now, from your 24-hour news source, this is KCRG TV9 News at 5.
In less than an hour, Air Force One will be landing at the Eastern Iowa Airport, and President Donald Trump will arrive for a rally in Cedar Rapids. Now, this is video of the president leaving Washington, D.C. a couple of hours ago. Tonight, we have team coverage of the president's visit to Cedar Rapids.
We have TV9's Forrest Saunders live at Kirkwood Community College, where the president will make a stop, and Jordy Kalk outside the U.S. Cellular Center, where tonight's rally is taking place. Now, this is the president's first Iowa trip since he stopped in Des Moines in December during his thank you tour.
His last trip to Cedar Rapids was a campaign rally last October. Now, they're also calling tonight's event a campaign-like rally, again with the Trump campaign covering the costs. Right now, let's begin with TV9's Ethan Fickow, who is live at the Eastern Iowa Airport.
Ethan, we still have some time before the president arrives, but what are you seeing there so far?
Bruce and Beth, right now members of the media and airport security are getting ready to see Air Force One touch down within the hour. Now, at the moment, I'm staying outside the airport, but soon enough I'll be able to get inside and get a closer look at where Air Force One will be actually touching down. Now, again, President Trump is scheduled to arrive around 5:45, and then he has 2 stops to make in Cedar Rapids. Now, he plans to fly back out again at 8 o'clock. So lots to look forward to tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing him in a short while. Reporting live outside the Eastern Iowa Airport, Ethan Fickow, KCRG TV9 News.
Continuing with our team coverage, we turn to TV9's Forrest Saunders live at Kirkwood Community College, where the president plans to make his first stop.
Forrest, what is President Trump going to be doing at Kirkwood?
Bruce, Beth, well, we just got inside this venue here at Kirkwood College a little bit ago, and you can see a packed house out there, and in the back, some combines and tractors, and that's because agriculture really is one of the themes that he's expected to talk about while out here. The president is expected to announce commitment to providing high-speed internet to rural areas. He's going to point out the U.S.'s tech advancements in agriculture very dependent on that. But before the speech, Trump, Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross are going to be touring part of the Kirkwood campus to learn a little bit more about the school. The Agriculture Sciences Dean is going to be part of that tour, and he hopes to point out 2 things to the president: show how great this community college is, and show how important federal funding is for higher education. Now, this comes as Trump seeks to slash $10.6 billion from federal education initiatives, according to the Washington Post. His budget proposal would cut funding to after-school programs, training for teachers, as well as career and technical education.
Obviously, additional dollars is always welcomed, and it helps us do things further. But, you know, as we look at our resources available, every dollar is critical in there. We're not spilling over with money in higher education these days.
Now, the president is expected to speak here at the Kirkwood Community College campus at about 6:20. We'll see if that actually happens. Live in Cedar Rapids, Forrest Saunders, KCRG, TV9 News.
And with more of our team coverage of the president's visit to Cedar Rapids, we go to TV9's Jordy Kalk.
She's live outside the U.S. Cellular Center in downtown Cedar Rapids, where that rally at 7 will begin. Jordy, there are protesters and supporters, we understand, already there.
That's right, Bruce and Beth. Doors at the Cellular Center here opened right at 4 o'clock, and as you can see, the line is still trickling in. And now in this line, it's mostly Trump supporters, but there are a few protesters trickled in. Now I'm told the main protest will be on 1st Avenue and 4th Street, and that's expected to start at 5 o'clock. But for those that are waiting to get inside the event, they started waiting in the early morning hours. Several people we spoke to traveled from out of state to hear the president speak. One man from Florida tells me he met President Trump at a rally in Melbourne, Florida back in February. That is a moment he captured on his T-shirt. He talked about what he expects to hear from President Trump tonight.
Well, I think he's going to bring up the things that have been going on, especially, unfortunately with, the negative things. I know he's going to bring a lot of that things up, but mostly what he's going to do is he's going to bring up the things that he's done and has accomplished over these 100+ days.
There are also increased amount of law enforcement out in the area tonight, and an official protest did just begin at 5 o'clock. Hear more from that tonight at 6. Reporting live in Cedar Rapids, Jordy Kalk, KCRG TV9 News.
Well, this afternoon, Linn County Democrats held what they were calling a community conversation ahead of the president's visit. It took place at the downtown library in Cedar Rapids. About 15 people took part, including the chairman of the Iowa Democratic Party, Derek Eden. Organizers tell TV9 they held this meeting out of concern President Trump's administration has not addressed issues Democrats in Linn County care about. And one of the things this group talked about was ways to make their voices heard.
You can call up your senators, Senator Ernst and Senator Grassley, and request that they step forward and do more in terms of bringing visibility to what's going on behind closed doors in the Senate.
The group also discussed health care, cuts to nonprofits, and teachers' unions.
We will be live streaming the arrival of Air Force One, plus President Trump's short speech at Kirkwood and his rally at the U.S. Cellular Center. That'll be on Facebook and on KCRG.com. But you can also see the Kirkwood speech and the U.S. Cellular Center speech live on KCRG 9.2.
Turning to weather, and meteorologist Joe Winters, we saw some scattered showers today. More rain tonight?
We still have to deal with some for the next couple of hours as we watch a warm front kind of slowly move through the state. Take a look at pinpoint Doppler radar, and you'll see there's a line of showers and isolated thunderstorms as well right along Interstate 380, moving from Waterloo down through Cedar Rapids down into northern areas of Johnson County. That activity is heading off to the southeast, and a little more activity developing right now across Tama and southern Benton County. With that, there is some lightning, as we can see, especially off to the north as these storms roll through. So expect some of those scattered showers and storms if you have some evening activities, especially south of Highway 20 and north of Interstate 80. There's your forecast with the rain that we had in place. Temperatures a bit cooler today. We're in the mid 70s. We should stay kind of there as we head through the next several hours. That rain does come to an end tonight, but then overnight and later tomorrow there are additional storm chances, and some of those storms may turn severe. We'll talk about that coming up.
Thank you, Joe. Police are investigating a shooting this afternoon on the southeast side of Cedar Rapids. It happened at 424 Fairway Terrace Southeast just after 1 o'clock. Now that's just across from the tennis courts at the Cedar Rapids Country Club. Multiple ambulances responded to the scene of the shooting. Police say 2 people were hurt. First responders did take them to the hospital. We are working with police to try to get you more information about what exactly happened here. Stay with TV9 and KCRG.com for the latest on this developing story.
A man attacked a police officer today at the airport in Flint, Michigan, stabbing him in the neck. Tonight, the officer's condition is improving. Lieutenant Jeff Neville was in critical condition, but he now appears to be stable. State police have arrested 1 person for the attack. They say that person is Canadian. The FBI is now leading the investigation and says it believes the attack at the Bishop International Airport was an isolated event, but it is saying it's investigating this as an act of terrorism. Authorities say the man who tried to set off a bomb at a train station in Brussels, Belgium, is an ISIS sympathizer. When police raided the man's home, they found chemicals and other bomb-making materials. He lived in the same neighborhood where authorities found suspects in previous attacks in Brussels and Paris. Soldiers killed the man yesterday after his bomb partially exploded. No one else was hurt.
Today, lawmakers on Capitol Hill investigating Russia's alleged interference with the U.S. election heard from former President Obama's Homeland Security Secretary. Jay Johnson told the House Intelligence Committee today that Russia tried to hack into election systems of nearly 24 states. He says one of the top priorities of Homeland Security was stopping Russians from getting into election machines.
I was very concerned about what I was seeing, and this was on my front burner all throughout the pre-election period to encourage the states to come in and seek our assistance.
Johnson says many states considered election security their issue and declined federal assistance. He also responded to the question about if he saw any evidence of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign. Johnson responded saying, not beyond what's been out there.
The condition of a Louisiana congressman is improving after a gunman seriously wounded him last week at a GOP baseball practice. House Whip Steve Scalise has gone from critical to fair condition. He was one of 4 people who were hurt in the shooting. The FBI says the shooting appears to have been a crime of opportunity for this Illinois man who hated Republicans. They say 66-year-old James Hodgkinson had been living in his van next to the Alexandria, Virginia ball field for weeks when he saw lawmakers practicing there.
So what we do know is he fired over 60 shots from the third base side of the field. 50 of those were from his SKS rifle. Approximately 50 of those were from his SKS rifle, but we do not know his intentions on the potential target.
Capitol Police officers David Bailey and Crystal Griner, the two who ended up killing Hodgkinson, were also injured.
Police in Dubuque say a woman stole from a disabled man while she worked for a service agency. Jatika Williams faces a couple of charges, including dependent adult abuse, exploitation, and theft. Investigators say she stole more than $1,000 from the man while working for Area Residential Care. The service agency for people who are disabled is not commenting, but did confirm Williams no longer works there. Court documents show she admitted to using the man's money to buy things for herself.
A car wash thief made off with a chunk of change.
$500 worth of quarters. Now police are hoping someone recognizes the burglar.
Some gray skies in many locations of eastern Iowa right now, and in some spots you're going to deal with some wet travel. Right now it looks pretty good on Interstate 380 as we look around the Cedar Rapids area. How long do showers and storms remain in our forecast? We'll show you that 9-day forecast next. Keep it here on TV9.